Good morning, everyone. This is Jim from Hanson's Film Life. Sorry it's been a couple days since I've done a video, but I had a medical procedure done and I just really wasn't able to do it. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about some things that you need to do before you get ready to move to the Philippines. Now, this is probably directed more towards those who have not come, but it may remind those that are here of things that they maybe didn't do before they left and needs to be done now. So let's get started. One thing probably most pertinent to nowadays is immunizations. You need to get with your doctor before you come and get all the vaccines and immunizations all up to date. That means tetanus and diphtheria and COVID if you can get them while they're hot. And those are free right now, so get them. And all the other ones, check with your doctor. They'll tell you what you need, what you have to have. Another thing you might want to do before you leave is make sure you have a up-to-date will. You know, you never know what's going to happen. So there are expats that have died here in the Philippines. So it's a good idea to get a current will. And part of that is, you know, updating your beneficiaries in the will, you know, who gets what. Also, any insurance, make sure you have that up to date. Bank accounts and any other kind of account that you can think of. Make sure your beneficiaries are up to date. You don't want the state controlling your estate after you pass away. Legal hassles and stuff. So make sure you get that done. Also, it's a good idea to make sure your passport has, well, it has to have 6 months before it expires before you come to the Philippines. They'll require that. If it's close, get it extended. Check to see if you have a year left. Check to see if you can extend it then, because when you do it here in the Philippines, it's going to be more of a involved, we'll say. You can get it done here and it's not that hard, but you know, you got to jump through some hoops to get it done. So I would recommend making sure that you have as much on your passport as possible. Now, when you move here, you may want to have a U.S. address, that mail that you're gonna get, like from the IRS, you know, tax stuff. If you have a vehicle still, you'll want the car registrations to come there. Now, there are companies that will offer you a U.S. address, street address, or you can have mail delivered. And the one that we use is U.S. Global. They're out of Houston. They will receive it. They send you an email with the picture of the front of each envelope. And if you want to see what's inside, you can request that that be opened and scanned, and then it's put into your little box where you can view it. Now, there's a charge for having things scanned. And if you want, you can have all that mail packaged up and shipped to you. You have the option in there, at least in ours, of throwing away items. So throw away all the stuff you don't need, you know, the junk mail and stuff. And then if you want, have them send it to you. Not going to be cheap, but at least it's a way to get the things that you need. Anything more about that? Let's see, usually it's like a 2 or 3 year contract. I believe mine is coming up for renewal. So it must be a 2-year contract because we've been here about 2 years now. But I did get it before we left. Anyway, it's coming up for anything that you're going to need a payment made, it's best to have it put on auto payment, so where it's paid on time and you don't have to worry about the things that might happen here in the Philippines, where you can't maybe get onto the internet when you wanted to make that payment. Maybe you can't get access to your site anymore, to your bank site. So, you know, automate as much as possible. Storage, do you have stuff that you want to keep? Maybe you'll decide that you don't want to live here forever in the Philippines. Or maybe you're just coming over for a period of time, you know, a bucket list thing to live in a foreign country. Whatever, you may want to do that, and you can put the payment for that storage on auto payment so that, you know, that stuff is just there and it's taken care of. Your cell phones that you have in the US, like we had AT&T. When I left, I canceled those accounts. Well, guess what? Some of the accounts that I had with, like Amazon, they used that phone number for the two-state verification. So you may want to make sure that those accounts, if they have the two-step verification, they do not use your phone number. And if they use your website, you can use email for it, or SMS, where they send you a text, or you can do phone calls on a lot of them. I recommend doing SMS, where they send you a text, and that would be to a phone that you have here in the Philippines. Or the best one is to send it email, because it doesn't matter if you change your phone number or whatever. If you can, use email. The ones that I used email on, they were less of a hassle. I still have an account with my credit card that I can't access the account anymore because they want me to verify it through the old phone number. And I've called them like 5 or 6 times trying to get it changed, and you know, they just won't do it. So get all these things done as best as possible. Now, your cell phone, if you want to get rid of it so you don't have to make that monthly payment, you can do that. If you want to keep your phone number and you don't want to pay the $60 a month, there is a company called Mint, M-I-N-T. They have an unlimited data for $15 a month, and you can take the phone number that you had on the other company and transfer it to them, and it's only $15 a month. You can take the SIM out of your phone and then use it over here when you go back to the U.S. to visit, or if you move back, or if you need to make some kind of a phone call, like or get verification, you can put that SIM in and they'll send you the text to that phone number. Should work. I have not verified that. The phone that you have in the U.S. may be locked. You know, if you buy it through a company like AT&T or T-Mobile, or any of them, they usually have it locked. They sell you the phone as part of the package of buying their service. Get it unlocked. You can get it unlocked. And then over here you can put in whatever SIM you want to. Now, if you have Sprint, they don't use SIMs, or they didn't. They may be using them now. And you cannot use that phone over here. Phones are not that expensive if you just want a basic phone. Now, if you want something like an iPhone or one of the Samsung phones, you're going to pay about the same as you do over there in the U.S. So you may want to get a phone, buy a new phone that's an unlocked phone, and just bring it over here and put the SIM in, and it'll work as long as it's unlocked. So now when you come over here, you're going to fly, and your luggage, there's requirements, limitations. You want to check that. Now, you can send things over here, bring up things over here that you may want, you know, cameras or web cameras, laptops. The valuable stuff, it's best to put it in an carry-on bag, and you usually have 2 bags that you can take. If you have the large ones, fill them full of the stuff that you think you might want over here, besides clothing. And if you have a lot more stuff that you want, because when we first moved over here, we thought we would be here long term. So my wife wanted some of her cooking stuff, and we sent some other stuff in balikbayan boxes. You can get that through like a Filipino store or some Asian stores, where you can buy the box, and it's like maybe $5 for the box, and then you fill it full of stuff, tape it up good, you fill out the paperwork, and it's probably about $100, maybe $120, depending on where you're sending it in the Philippines. I think ours was about $110 here to Dumaguete. You take it back to the store, drop it off, they ship it. Well, they do it through the carrier, they ship it, and it's delivered to your house. And you have to have an address over here to send it to. So if you're not sure where you're going to live, that's probably not a good option, unless you leave it all ready to go, and then you get over here, you find an address that you can use and have someone over there send it. You can take care of it that way. Cash. You're going to want to bring cash. I would recommend enough for an estimated 2 months worth of expenses. Because when you get here, you do not know if you're going to have problems with, like your bank account at home. You can use an ATM machine here. There's like a 250 peso charge each time you use it. Now, if you have an account with Charles Schwab, they pay that back. Some other banks do that also. So at the end of the month, I get a credit for all of the ATM charges. So for me, using Charles Schwab, I can get access anywhere in the world that they have an ATM that has the MasterCard or Visa symbol on it. And it doesn't really cost me anything, because at the end of the month I get reimbursed. So now you have that cash to make sure that all of the things that you may have set up, that you don't run into some unforeseen problems. You will definitely need a VPN. There's many companies that use them. We use NordVPN, and we have not had any problems with it. We can access anything back in the US as long as it's turned on. You can turn it on, turn it off, and you can pick what city you want in the US that you want it to VPN into, and then it's sent out to whatever website. We can access the IRS, the Veterans Administration, Social Security, Immigration, all those sites we are able to access. I have not tried Netflix. That's supposedly one of the difficult ones. I understand that it works. You can access the U.S. Netflix instead of the Philippines Netflix. There's additional programming on the U.S. one. So those are some of the things that I think that you need to take care of before you leave. Other people may have other ideas, so put it in the comments, please. And that will help all of us. And I guess that's it for today. I want to thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video.